Good morning, beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den. I'm Ku'ule Agbayani. Now alongside Paul Brackton, it is a one-woman show to start it off this evening. Clearly, misplaced the music, and there you go. It is not hour number 2. That's usually our hour number 2 music bed, but we are live on YouTube, live this morning on Hawaii Sports Radio, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com. And if you miss anything, you can always catch us on demand wherever you get your podcast. So hello and welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us this and every weekday morning from 8 to 10 or every Monday on our YouTube channel. Got a lot of stuff to get into today. Obviously, the Super Bowl is set. We will get into a lot of that stuff coming up on the show with the Seahawks and the Patriots back for another rematch in the Super Bowl coming up in a couple of weeks. So we will get our takes on what we anticipate to happen in that game. I mentioned it before, and it was very entertaining, to say the least, watching the AFC championship side between the Patriots and the Broncos with an actual, true Patriots fan. And because the game was so low scoring with a bunch of missed field goals, I was just getting extremely entertained just watching the stress. But at the same time, I'm very jealous of that stress because one day I do miss that feeling that I had early on in the playoffs rooting for the Chicago Bears. And I can't wait to have that again. So it was nice to feel it. It's nice to feel alive when your team is in it, playing deep into the playoffs. But now the Super Bowl is set. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll get into a lot of basketball as, we got some winning basketball ways over the weekend that I hope at least hampered the excruciating pain that our Paul Brecht was having to endure seeing not only the Patriots, his arch nemesis of the New York Jets, but also Sam Darnold, the former Jets quarterback, first round pick, making it to the Super Bowl with his current team in the Seattle Seahawks. So at least the other green teams, not one, but 2 green teams won over the weekend. So that was awesome for all of our fellow UH basketball fans. Yesterday, shout out to everybody last night that attended the Rainbow Warrior volleyball banquet. That was a fun time. It was nice to see a lot of you guys and all of your wonderful faces and all the support that came out for the men's volleyball team. But again, unfortunately, we won't see this Rainbow Warrior volleyball squad until, March 4th. So it's going to be a while, but I already saw some people commenting on my Twitter that there are some people that are going out there, going to watch them at Penn State. So that's pretty cool. So at least we'll get some men's volleyball action, just not in the Stan Sheriff Center until a little over a month from now, which is ridiculous. I can't believe they're going to deprive us of our beloved men's volleyball games in the Stan. But we can't wait for that. It's going to be a fun one during this season. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Again, we'll talk some basketball. I did want to mention, though, now that I want to pull this up for you guys because it's pretty awesome. If you guys didn't watch, there was so much stuff going on this weekend. There was UFC on Paramount Plus, so free UFC for the first time. I know you got to pay a subscription, but it's not the $80 pay-per-view that us UFC fans have been used to paying for over the last few years. And there he is. Woo! Paul has arrived. In his usual late fashion, but it's okay. I'm used to it. There's one person that can make this happen. I feel like I'm just got the YouTube going, got the thing going, and like I said, played the wrong music. But there we go, and here we are. But as I was saying, I wanted to kind of tell you guys, if you guys watched it, so there was UFC going on, there was all kinds of fun stuff going on, but probably the craziest, my palms were literally so sweaty watching this, and I hope some of you guys got a chance to take it in. But the Skyscraper Live that was on Netflix on Saturday was insane. So I hope you guys got a chance to take a look at it. It was pretty awesome. Alex Honnold. So if you guys haven't heard of him, he was the one that was part of the Free Solo documentary in which he scaled with no ropes El Capitan at Yosemite Park, which is actually taller than the skyscraper that he had to endure. So that was pretty impressive. So just over an hour and a half, 101 story climb, no ropes whatsoever. Let's see, it's just over 1,600 feet, tallest building in the world from 2004 to 2010, but a title now that is currently held by a skyscraper in Dubai. But Taipei 101, and for those watching on Netflix, or not Netflix, yeah, we're on Netflix, guys. For those watching on our YouTube channel, there he has like a selfie that he took at the very tip top. Like, he's not just climbing to the top. He is literally at the tippy top of this skyscraper, and there was a point where he took a rest, essentially holding on to the building with his legs, and just up there. It was insane, but I was sweating the entire time as if, and like, I was probably more nervous than this guy was. He was like calm, cool, and collected the entire time, but it was just phenomenal. And I hope if you guys haven't watched it, I encourage you guys to watch it, because it's just, I mean, when we talk about athletes, this is like the epitome of athleticism, because you tackle the not only the physical side of it, but the mental side of it. And it's just, he was like seriously just chilling the entire time. And he was doing like the interviews midway through with the people downstairs, and it was pretty awesome. And like I said, I was just nervous the entire time. Did you get a chance to see any of the highlights, Paul?
No, I am absolutely terrified of falling from heights. Heights are like my big fear or whatever. I don't really care about the darkness. I don't really care about like snakes, spiders, whatever. Falling from heights, the thought of that terrifies me. There was no chance. As soon as you mentioned it, I was like, I will not be watching any of this. I did see plenty of things on social media. God, what a weird angle of me. Anyway. No, it's just I never get a chance to see myself on this side. I'm like, whoa. Anyway, yeah, no, I did not watch. More for my mental health and less because I didn't believe in him. Because people who do that don't do it unless they are absurdly good at it and also absurdly confident. I'm glad that he's both seemingly very safe during it.
Yeah, and like I said, but it's crazy that like this was, I don't want to say nothing, but kind of nothing, because like I said, the Yosemite one,
right,
literally straight up rock wall, barely anything to grab onto it. I think that one took him like 4 hours or somewhere around there. No ropes, straight up. Just search for it, El Capitan Yosemite, and then you'll see this magnitude of this rock that he scaled without any ropes. So I think even with El Capitan and Taipei 101, he was technically not the first to solo climb it, but he is the first for both to do it without any type of ropes whatsoever. I don't know. And it like, but then it brings you back to like when we talk about the explosion of like the NFL, right? And all of the dollars that go into media rights. And then you think about the fact that Netflix had to pay him only like, I think he said mid six figures. And then you think about though, like how massive of a athletic feat this was. But it's entertainment, right? It's the entertainment business. I'm sure. However, I'm curious to see the broadcast numbers on how many people had tuned in to this or will tune in on demand. And it's pretty awesome. And he was like so fun and entertaining. Like he was like unserious the entire time. Like you just...
Something's got to be just like, a little bit off. Yeah. Like just a little. Like
clearly serious, like right. The training. But the fact that he can go up there and he's like, oh, my music went out. Oh, well. And then he's like climbing. Oh, saying hi to the people that were inside the building, like videoing him, saying hi, taking selfies. Hey, guys down there, can you still see me? I can't hear you. And he's just like chilling, sitting to take a break. He's like sitting on the edge of already like halfway up this thing. And he's just like, hee. Like, just... That's what I mean by unserious. Clearly very serious because he knew it's literally life or death. But just his whole persona the entire time. It was just so fun to watch because he's just... Oh, what's up, guys? Like, I'm just scaling this skyscraper. You know, used to be the tallest building in the world. I'm chilling. Like, how are you guys doing down there?
It's just absurd. I'm going and I'm reading more about it, and one, the thought of doing it is just crazy. The thought of it being like just a regular thing for you is even crazier, I think. Like, I don't know. I tip the cap to him. I can't. Oh God, free solo climbs are just. Ugh.
I wouldn't know. I don't even
Terrifying.
attempt to do any free solo
Terrifying to
climb.
think about.
You can catch me on the rock wall that literally have the things for you to grab onto and all the harnesses, and that's about it. Like, no thanks. Like, they put like, oh, let me just like grab the sides and like have these really strong forearms, and as I'm scaling like Spider-Man
I
up
used
this
to climb
thing.
trees. That was about it.
Yeah, those are a lot easier. All right. We've avoided it enough because, like, got in here a little late, Paul, but how are we feeling? How are we doing? I kind of mentioned to the beautiful people that it was good that both men's and women's UH teams won on Saturday. So even though you had to endure the pain of seeing not only the Patriots go to the Super Bowl again, but the Sam Darnold, the quarterback that you are always high on, formerly with the Jets, and then, of course, by way of the Vikings and then some other teams, ends up in Seattle, now goes to the Super Bowl. First quarterback in that very stacked quarterback 2018 draft, albeit Josh Allen, a Baker Mayfield, a Lamar Jackson, all in that same draft class as Sam Darnold. And just last season, or maybe 2 seasons ago, you got to ask, like, which quarterback in this class, looking at it right now, will get to the Super Bowl first? I don't think anybody would have voted that it would have been Sam Darnold, but here we are. So again, even though it's like the pain of the football life as a Jets fan, at least the UH teams made it not so painful sports weekend for you.
The UH teams, shout out to them. Very excited to talk about them today. A couple of nice wins. No, I'm happy. I am like a proud parent watching Sam. I love Sam Darnold. I will always love Sam Darnold, even if his success doesn't come with the New York Jets. It is nice. It is nice. I won't lie, especially because one of those 2018 quarterbacks is in my division still. It is kind of nice to be like, yeah, we got it right. We got it right. We might not have kept him, but we did get it right. And at least we're not the Vikings, where he threw 40 touchdowns, and then they're like, what if we keep J.J. McCarthy instead?
Thank you, Vikings. Good job. Good job. I know. I bet, let's see. Scott Robbs is the first person I think of that's here in Hawaii that's a Vikings fan. So I'm sure Scott is feeling great as well. But this Bears fan, thumbs up, guys. Good job. And I got good Bears news this morning in that it seems like Declan Doyle, their offensive coordinator, will remain in Chicago and has withdrawn from the interview process or whatnot with the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's good news. Phillip Rivers, shocker, has withdrawn his name from the head coaching opportunity there in Buffalo. I think because now it makes me think like he just wanted to go through the process. And sometimes people do that, like with certain positions. I was just surprised that the Bills even interviewed him. So maybe it was kind of like hey, all right, maybe we'll just go through the process. And that's going to be similar. That actually makes me think of the interview that I had with UH softball head coach Panita Thanatharn, which you guys will hear this week, Wednesday. And she actually brought up something like that, where she went through the process of different head coaching openings, like submitted the application, went through some of the interviews, but the fit just never felt right for some of these places. So I think sometimes, especially if it's like your first head coaching gig or you're just curious, maybe as a former quarterback, he was just curious on what the whole process is like. I'm like, all right, well, but I don't think it came out as a shock to anybody that Phillip Rivers is not going to be a head coach in the NFL. But it was interesting that he went through the process of it all.
What I found more interesting than anything was more that he was withdrawing himself rather than the Bills being like, hey, we really appreciate you coming out. It's just not time yet. I just thought that was interesting. That being said, I mean, the Bills still have Grant, I think you say his name, Udinsky, the offensive coordinator for the Jaguars, still interviewing, who removed himself from the Browns head coaching cycle carousel today. So I don't know. It's good for Phillip Rivers that he got a look at this. I'm almost certain he'll be a head coach in the next 3 years in the NFL. I don't know why. I really feel that way. And I think I'm glad that it's not with the Bills, so that I don't have to root against him. I can actually root for him to be a successful coach, you know?
I saw the funniest, we got to go to break, but just real quick, I saw the funniest GIF where I think it was like the NFL memes, because they always post funny stuff. And it said like the Browns head coaching job, and the GIF was like this person like going through a crowd and the whole crowd is like avoiding them. It's like that's the job, the Browns head coaching job. It's like nobody wants to be the head coach of the Browns. Everyone is avoiding it, and it's just interesting to see all this stuff. Also interesting is speaking of head coaches, I didn't realize to go back, right, that, and I don't know if it was the Falcons choosing to not pick these guys, but I guess both Mike Vrabel and Mike McDonald, the two head coaches in the Super Bowl, interviewed for your Falcons job, and they went another direction, and now they're starting all over again. So, yeah, if you're Jets fans like Paul aren't alone when it comes to shoulda, coulda, woulda, because there are so many invisible strings that have happened along the way, including Tennessee Titans fans like Mike Vrabel and the Patriots have won more games since like December than the Titans won this entire season. It's like, it's ridiculous. And so you're not alone, Paul. It's okay.
Oh, believe me, I know I'm not alone. I just wish everybody else would say that the Jets aren't alone being a bad franchise.
I know.
That's all.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back to talk some more NFL next on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
It's like magic. We swapped out. Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760. HawaiiSportsRadio.com and streaming live on our YouTube channel. Yeah, there we go. Back to normal. The camera angles are better.
Much
Everything's
better
fine.
this way. As somebody who hates change,
I know.
I'm a big fan of having it back to where we normally do.
Like,
and it's on me. It's hand up.
I know. I was
Listen,
that was like when
okay.
you texted me. I'm like, all right, how do I? Because I like you've never been late on like a YouTube
days,
show.
Well, and if I am, I have the iPad typically, so you don't have to worry about the first segment or whatever. Yeah. This one was a strange occurrence, so no.
Yeah.
That's also why I text you. I think I text you at like 7:45. I'm like, hey, just a heads up type of thing.
It was just weird too for me because like doing like multiple things at once, like aside from me doing the wrong music in the beginning, but whatever.
I did chuckle. I did chuckle a little bit.
Like all of the stuff, like multitasking is nothing, but like the thing that is out of the norm for me starting the show is that usually when I do the show by myself on Thursdays, we're not on YouTube, so I don't have to worry about where the camera is. But like when I'm by myself, I tend to stand up on that side that Paul is. I never start the show sitting down ever when I'm by myself, so that part kind of threw me off more than any of the extra buttons I had to press or whatever.
Fair.
I think that's why the music thing threw me off, because it's like I always stand up when I'm by myself, at least to start off the show. Like the first segment, I just do it the entire thing by myself. Helps me think better, helps get my energy up as always, as if I needed any help outside of my coffee. But it's just that part I think was the most that I'm like, I'm sitting down. Because the way I didn't have time to adjust the camera angle, and I'm just like.
Also glad you
this
didn't,
is
because
so-
then it would have taken forever for us to get I had to adjust this back and yours back. It just would have been chaos. So it was fine. Yeah. It creates a funny first segment where we both look a little funny compared to what we normally do.
Oh, so never again. Never again.
Never again. Amen.
I can do the show by myself without standing up. It was weird. It was very, very weird. Anywho, getting into someone texted earlier. Let's see, man, I'm like Paul, just going up on the roof of my one-story house to put up my Christmas lights give me anxiety. When we're talking about the free solo climb.
Falling from heights hurts.
It does.
Sucks.
I get it.
Especially from a skyscraper. That would suck.
Well, the crazy part is, like, so I've been up the Willis Tower multiple times, formerly known as the Sears Tower in Chicago, and the Taipei 101 skyscraper is taller than the Willis Tower. So I'm like, that's high. And when I go up for Willis Tower, I'm not even at the tippy top. Like, the observation deck is like maybe like halfway between like the top quarter of the building or something, and then so you're still high. I think it's still like 100 stories or something, but he's going like at the tippy. Oh, anyways, it was scary. Yes. Anywho, getting back to some NFL conversation. Well, that was a very entertaining first game on Saturday morning, 10-7 by way of the Patriots. Again, it was like not one, not two, 3 missed field goals because that weather was just insane. But like I said, I'm just glad I was entertained watching it alongside a true like Patriots fan whose dad is from Massachusetts, so he was like quite literally born into being a Patriot fandom / Boston Celtics, all of that stuff. The anxiety, but like I said in the first segment, the anxiety that I do hope to feel again, and this isn't a fluke year for the Bears. It is funny watching someone else go through it, like genuine scare.
Oh, it's so funny.
So even though the game itself, as just a football fan, was kind of wonky because the weather started coming down, especially in the second half, I'm glad I was entertained by watching someone that was stressing out about the football game.
So I'll ask you this. I've seen so many takes now about like, oh, everybody needs a dome. I don't want a championship game decided by weather. I think it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Because it's not... Both teams got to play through it. It's not like it's one team, it's snowing like hell for one team, and then the other team, they're getting 75 and sunny as they get to go down the field. I thought that was such a weird take because, yeah, I don't know. It's an extra challenge in what was a pretty fun back and forth game. Two defenses who were really going at it. I mean, Jarrett Stidham, after an awesome first drive, couldn't really get it going once again. We went from, man, the Jets are trading a third-round pick for him to maybe we could pick him up off the scrap heap. No, just kidding. But in general, yeah, a fun back-and-forth game. Kind of exactly what I expected, if I'm going to be honest with you. I was hoping for a Broncos win, but when it comes down to it, we talked about it. It was two really good defenses going up against one another, two teams who have struggled a little bit offensively, though obviously the Broncos struggles a little bit different now with their backup quarterback, or at least with their backup quarterback rather than their starter. Sam, if you hear me, please save us. It will make taking him number 3 overall, by the way, in 2018, 100% worth it. all the pain, all of it, if he can deny a Patriots Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what team he does it for, as long as it's not for the Patriots. I will always root for Sam. So, yeah, no.
It'll feel like that time when, like, Lovie Smith was coaching at the Texans, and then he ended up getting fired from the Texans after that, but, like, he won the last game of the season that ultimately gave, like, the Bears the number 1 overall pick, and we're like, just took a little while, but thank you, Lovie Smith, for looking out for the Chicago Bears.
Never a doubt.
It'll be like, hey, you were always on our side, Sam Darnold. But it just took a little while, and at the end of the day, you did the best thing that the Jets fans could hope for. But I'm like you, yeah, it's so crazy, the whole like outpouring of like, oh, this weather, because it was still a fun game. I honestly don't think the score would have been that much higher if like it wasn't snowing and it was a little ugly. But then it adds to like the challenge of managing the game, for these coaches. I mean, what was that play to really secure the game that they called that to Drake May to run it? I was like, that was the perfect play, and they couldn't stop him. He got the first down, and there it is, right? Like, because you're not going to throw the ball, all of that stuff, and hey, they covered. So check the tape. I'm pretty sure we're like, the Broncos will definitely cover. I think it was like 4.5 or something ridiculous.
Whatever.
I'm pretty sure the Broncos are going to keep it close. So I honestly still think if the weather was perfect, it would have been close no matter what, because I think both teams' defenses, as you were saying, are like really, really good, and both teams' offenses aren't like the equivalent of what their defense is.
It's not the Rams,
right?
Seahawks.
Like, yeah. Like, as much as Drake May, and you give him credit for being a really good quarterback, I still, like, if you take him separately, he's kind of like, I do think he's better than Bo Nix, but he's similar to where it's like, if you plopped him somewhere, like, you did plop him in the Jets, like,
I'd be the happiest man in the world.
But they wouldn't have been like instantly good, right? With a lot of these quarterbacks, especially the young ones in particular. It's like they do need a little bit of luck, and that's sports, right? Like they had a really easy schedule, the extremely down year for the Jets and the Dolphins. And I mean, but of all of this too, I saw a tweet about this, is that of all teams for them to lose to, the Las Vegas Raiders.
I know.
So the Raiders clearly don't have a lot of wins, but one of them is against the Patriots, and one of them I think is against the Chiefs. And they still get the number 1 pick, so they can look back on the season and be like,
great season.
Great season. We beat some really good teams. We beat a Super Bowl contender, and we still get the number 1 pick, and we'll get a likely franchise quarterback.
I'm going to say something else, too, and I know this is going to come off like because I'm a Patriots hater or whatever. I don't know why the fans are so up in arms about the whole, like, they've had it easy this season narrative. It's objectively true.
Yeah.
They're playing a 4th-place schedule from last year.
I think
they played a backup quarterback in the AFC Championship game. C.J. Stroud played,
horrible.
Maybe the worst game of football I've seen since Zach Wilson was my starting quarterback. Like, it's okay to recognize, like, they have had a different path. Nonetheless, you can only win the games that are in front of you. So I'm not taking that away from the Patriots or from their fans or whatever. I've seen so many fans be like, oh, the narrative is dead. They've played 5 top 5 defenses now in the playoffs. That's great. And Drake May scored 10 points and beat a backup quarterback in the AFC Championship game, man. Like, yeah, great. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. They played a great defense. They also played a backup quarterback. You're allowed to have both sides of things. They should have won. They did win. It's that simple. Now, I will give the credit when or if they beat the Seahawks, because the Seahawks have a great defense. The Seahawks went through what I felt was a gauntlet in the NFC.
Same.
If they beat them, they absolutely deserve the Super Bowl title. And if they don't, well, then they didn't deserve the title, and that was always clear, and that's fine.
Yeah,
that is fine. It's just been so funny seeing all these, like, the Patriots fans go back, and they're like, oh, the schedule narrative. It's true.
It's true.
But you guys won the games that you were supposed to, and that's okay. That's good. You arrived a year before you were supposed to. It's been driving me nuts all weekend because it's like...
It's funny that you bring that up because I actually did bring that up to the Patriots fan that is in town, and he's like... And same thing. He's like, no, but blah, blah, blah. And I was like... And he was actually more courteous about it. He did admit, he's like, yeah, I guess. But we still won. I was like, yeah.
Perfect. That is all I need.
Just acknowledge that your schedule was easy. Like...
Comparatively speaking to others, 100%. And that's fine.
That division was not the NFC North, was not the NFC West this year, right? Like, it could have been very, very different. But
I'm a Jets fan. I'm allowed to say it, okay? You got to play. You got two free wins. You got to play the Jets twice. You got to play the Dolphins twice. You beat the Bills twice, or you beat the Bills once. I'll give you that one. That was an impressive win in the moment. I remember being like, damn. But otherwise, it's like, relax, okay?
I know that was like when I told, because he was like bragging about, what is it, like 9-0 or whatever on the road. I was like, yeah, but 2 of those is like more like 7 without even looking at the schedule. Because I'm like, come on. I don't even know if they beat those 2 teams on the road, but I'm like, well, because I'm like your sentiment. I'm like, well, you played easy teams. And honestly, the Bills, like,
they were not as good as previous
They have to play Josh Allen. Like, that's all that's on the Bills.
But like
anyways.
I'm glad that like they were able to, win their games and whatever. I'm not glad, but they won the games that they were supposed to, and they absolutely are able to talk their smack, because that's to the victor go the spoils.
Yep.
That's how it is at the end of the day.
See, we got another text. I don't get people saying that winter weather is football weather. The athletes are paid millions of dollars because of their speed, accuracy, strength, and other superpowers. So when weather diminishes their greatness by 10, 20, 30, or even 50%, that's not football. Fans pay good money to watch players play, not to watch curling on a 100-yard field. But again, I think that adds to the, like, I understand where that comes from, because people want to, again, the NFL professional sports is the entertainment game. People watch it to be entertained, and sometimes when you don't see the dynamic players, for some people it's not as entertaining. But it's kind of like why I like baseball, because I like the strategy that goes into how you manage the game down the stretch and how you overcome the elements. Like, to me, that's entertaining on how they call the plays, how certain players can overcome certain situations in this type of weather. So that, to me, is entertaining. Like, I understand where our texters comments, because that's, you were talking about it earlier. Like, people are saying that too. Just the side that I am on, I'm like, well, I don't mind it, because I think it changes the game literally, so that you do have to almost watch a different form of football, because you have to manage it completely different. And to me, like I said, that's entertaining to me, to watch it be the way that it is.
I mean, to me, I just sit here and I think of it as an added challenge. It's the home field advantage of it all, or it's supposed to be part of the home field advantage of it all, is that things change. And football is somewhat unique in the fact that you do play in practically any weather. Doesn't really matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's sunny and 85. You're expected to be out there, and you're expected to be hitting hard. You're expected to be making plays. So to me, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily care as much about like ugly football comparatively to like beautiful football, because life isn't perfect. You don't get to be like, oh, I want this and this and this and this and this and make a perfect situation. You go wherever the cards lie. And that's part of why I appreciate it more. And also, I'm from the Northeast, so I legitimately look at it as like a home field advantage when you have to play in the snow and you get a team like Miami who's coming up from some nice weather in Florida. I mean, it hurts a little bit more when you get hit in the cold. The ball doesn't fly as well. You bring up baseball. Part of the reason I'm always interested in October baseball is because it's not the same as when you're playing in July, because ball is a little more condensed because it's cold. It's harder to hit home runs. Things are different. So, similarly, I don't know. I like that it changes the strategy a bit. I think it's more of a one-off than it is like a consistent thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just Mother Nature is going to have her thumb on the scale sometimes, and I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah, so
that's a personal thing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think any take is like right or wrong.
No, because I think our texter is perfectly within their rights to feel this way.
That's what they're entertained by, and I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. If we're talking about like 90% of the NFL games being played in snow and you're watching that all the time, then that gets a little annoying. But like if you have, like you said, your one-offs, like how we had in the AFC Championship game, how we tend to see in Buffalo, hence why they're going to move to their dome. Like, I understand it for that part, but it just makes it more fun and endearing. I mean, what would there only be like Lambeau left at this point, like down the stretch of the only ones that will be playing in the snow, which is, again, it's the advantage of it all, which it's like playing in Seattle. Like, you have to deal with the 12th man is real in Seattle. Like, you would think every other home field is it.
Pouring.
Yeah, but it's the way that stadium is built that it makes it even more real. All right, we do need to take a break. We'll be back to bring it back home and talk some University of Hawaii basketball next on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to all of you, the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel this and every single Monday. We appreciate all of you that tune in, and that is why you are the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. Feel free to chime in on the live YouTube chat or text us at 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481. All right, I want to talk a little bit about the University of Hawaii women's basketball game. The ladies get the road sweep and now got a good amount of string together a good win streak going on here with 4. Will be battle tested this Thursday, especially as they get set to host Irvine. But what a nice 64-55 win on the road on Saturday at CSUN. Hope you guys had a chance to watch it. I mean, Bailey Flevel just keeps doing Bailey Flevel things, scoring 17 points. Kiara Curtis doing 9 and had a little bit of a scare, a little bit of an ankle scare, but it was, albeit it was just a little tweak there. She got retaped and was back into the game, but just her presence and what she can do on the court has just been phenomenal. I mean, Sanaya Neverson was behind Bailey in scoring with 13. Just they are really starting to play this complete basketball, and despite a turnover-ridden game, they were able to overcome that. So we don't need to talk too much about that. It did have 20 turnovers. Again, when they play a higher-level opponent like Irvine coming in this week, need to take care of the basketball. But a win is a win, and they overcame a horrendous second quarter as well, in which they got outscored 20-3. And that 3 was an Imani Perez three-pointer like towards the ending of the second quarter. So that definitely was something that was quite the shock for the University of Hawaii and myself while I'm watching this game play out. But regroup at the half and able to come back with a strong second half and get to that 64-55 win at CSUN. Get a road sweep. Move up in the standings. Now they would actually be, they're 4-5 in the Big West, and now they have, if it ended today, they would be in to the Big West postseason. So slowly starting to move themselves up there in the Big West Conference ranking. So nice road wins here for the Rainbow Wahine.
Took care of business when they were supposed to take care of business. And that was something that they were not doing for the first 5 games of this conference season. We saw them a couple of times on the road to begin where they let games that they should have had go through their fingers, and I'm sure they're kicking themselves about those games, but they were good learning experiences because you did see them grow. And now they are a group who, I mean, Cal State Fullerton, to their credit, that loss is looking, I don't want to say like a better loss, but it does look like it's like, oh, they're pretty good at 7-3. They're sitting a game above, or not a game, but a spot above the Rainbow Wahine in the standings right now. But yeah, it feels like Hawaii has started to turn a corner a little bit where you see these younger players taking that step forward. You see Coach Laura Beeman. I mean, I'll say this. She had been hinting at cutting the rotation down because, I mean, how many times did we see 12, 13 players play early on? In this game, I think they only play, 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, and the starting 5. Yeah, they only play 9 players, which is a much more traditional rotation and whatever, but bigger minutes from some of the players who have shown that they can handle those minutes, and it ultimately results in a victory. This was another good sign from the Rainbow Wahine being able to come back and beat a team that they should beat, kind of as you mentioned, where they did not play well in the first half, especially in that second quarter. I mean, that might be being kind about how they played in that second quarter. But instead of packing it in, instead of kind of being wishy-washy for the second half, you saw them come out and they took the game. They end up going and, I mean, the third quarter was still kind of meh. The fourth quarter, they dominated. It was awesome to see. And that is the team that needs to be there for all 4 quarters come next Thursday, or this Thursday, I guess, as UC Irvine comes to town, because 4 wins in a row is great. And as you mentioned, it puts them into where they need to be. Their eyes should still be higher.
Oh, of course. And it is.
You're starting with a UC Irvine game, who did, by the way, they finally lost the game.
Woo!
Finally lost the game after winning 16 in a row.
To UC San Diego. So another top game.
It's another conversation.
Not a fluky loss for the Lady Anteaters by any stretch either. But one stat that does stand out to me the most, of course, 23 for 25 from the free throw line for the Rainbow Wahine, which is their season high so far. So again, kids, got to make your free throws. Hence, we're like, yeah, maybe it wasn't super close down the stretch, but it always helps to have that cushion when you start to make your free throws, because the refs were calling just about everything. I mean, you swatted at a fly, the other person would get called. So it was just one of those frustrating officiating games, but nonetheless took care of business. Just real quick before we go to break, though, I want to let you guys hear a snippet of what head coach Laura Beeman had to say on the ESPN Plus broadcast in the postgame.
All right, Laura, thanks for joining us. Such a tight game until about midway through the fourth quarter. Congratulations on the win. How did you overcome that second quarter in which the Matadors outscored you guys 20-3?
Yeah, I thought they played a really good second quarter. I thought the game was really physical in that second quarter. And I thought in the second half things kind of calmed down. We were able to handle the pressure a little bit better, move the ball much, much better. Defensively, I think we tightened some things up. But you know, this is the first time we've been on the road for 2 games like this with a very, very young team, and so the fatigue definitely hit in. They found another level. They grew up a little bit. Really, really proud that they're continuing to trust our process.
All right, you talk about the process, 6 true freshmen, so there's certainly a lot to work on as the season goes along. You had the 4-game losing streak in conference. Now you've won the last 4. Where do you feel like this team is at right now?
You know, day at a time. We're really just going to continue to really dive into our process. We're not going to play for results. We're going to play to continue to grow and get better. We've got big games coming up at home. New game plans, right, for every week for this young team. So it's all about the process for us, game and time.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. Safe travels back home to Hawaii, and good luck the rest of the way in the conference. We'll see you in the conference tournament.
Aloha.
And that was UH women's basketball head coach Laura Beeman, and just a snippet of what she had to say in the post game of that ESPN Plus broadcast on Saturday after their 64-55 win over CSUN. And as she mentioned, they're growing up a little bit, and growing up essentially in front of our eyes, all of us fans that are keeping track and watching, because yeah, like to start off, part of the turnovers and getting flustered is just youth, and just get a little too, you overthink things and don't just play. And I didn't realize that, but that was a good point out by Coach Beeman, is that, yeah, this is their first road trip in which they had like that second game where they had to play. So like I guess the fatigue started to set in and stuff like that. So that's something else that they had to overcome. So all of these little things, and to be able to come, it's already hard to win on the road as it is, but now you have this team that's going through a lot of the first experiences and getting to get more comfortable in what the coaches are running on top of everything else, on top of college life and all of that stuff. So like we were saying, like maybe this could be like they're starting to turn that corner. Now, I won't go out on the limb and be like, oh yeah, we're totally going to take care of business against Irvine coming into town, because Irvine's going to come in angry that they gave up that winning streak. And as we mentioned, when we saw them play not too long ago, that Irvine team is good and they are big. Like they're one of the few teams, I've mentioned it before, in the Big West that can match the size that our Rainbow Wahine have here. So it's going to be a fun one, but a good start or a good continuation of the winning streak here for the Rainbow Wahine.
Yeah, really important for them. They're finally back over 500, 10-9 overall now, and just one game under 500 in the conference at 4-5 in the Big West. It continues to make the UC Irvine game look bigger and bigger and bigger for them. One thing that I did notice, they're doing a better job getting their bigs the ball. Even if it's not resulting in scores, it does result in kickouts, which then has an open look for three, or it forces the defense to rotate and then a breakdown, and then it creates things just to be a little bit easier offensively. And I do think that that's by design. We've heard Coach Laura Beeman talk about it before, but Imani Perez getting a touchdown low, even if it doesn't turn into a shot, she then relocates. She took 7 3-pointer attempts in this game.
I love that.
I was a big fan of that. I was glad to see Sanaya Neverson get involved. I'd love to see her get even more involved, because a lot of times, like I said, if you can get them touches down low, a lot of times it's forcing the defense to suck in and try and get the ball out of their hands. And when they do that, we've seen now at this point, there are enough good shooters on this Hawaii team where you can really punish teams for trying to double team down low, and then all of a sudden, you see where I'm going here, they can't double team down there, and then Imani, Ritoria, Sanaya can get one-on-one, and when you're 6'5", 6'4", 6'1", and very strong like Sanaya, I mean, all of a sudden that becomes almost a guaranteed 2. So their offense is continuing to evolve. That's been nice to see. It's a team that needed to grow up. They are growing up in front of our eyes. They have their biggest challenge yet of growing up against the top team in the conference coming on in.
Good thing is, just to take it back a little bit, they were able to almost win at Irvine 50-47. So at least they know that they can compete, and they're getting there very close. So now that they host the Anteaters here at home, going to need a lot of you guys out there to support the Rainbow Wahine at Banco Arena at Stan Sheriff Center, 7 o'clock p.m. And then Saturday, Beeman's Big Bash, this year's iteration of Beeman's Big Bash, as they host Long Beach State. So hope to see you guys out there. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back to close out hour number 1 on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network and streaming live on our YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, and stick around. We still got another hour to go. We'll get into some more NFL conversation, take a look at the Super Bowl matchup, some funny tweets that I saw, as always, that come across the timeline. There was a bunch that you got to get into. And then we'll talk we were just talking to some UH women's basketball. We'll chat about the UH men's basketball game against CSUN coming up in hour number 2. To end hour number 1, though, I did want to kind of mention this because it was, speaking of funny stuff that was online, so maybe like soon after we ended the show on Friday, it was announced via the NCAA that they have approved now. We were talking about this because UNLV had already done what it needed to do to secure a jersey patch sponsor even before it was approved. So it has been approved. On Friday, there was the proposal that allows teams now to place corporate sponsorship logo patches on game jerseys, equipment, and apparel during regular season competition, opening up another potential revenue stream for the schools. And teams can begin displaying up to 2 logo patches, no more than 4 square inches on each, and on uniforms beginning this football season, or this upcoming football season, August 1st, and other sports, of course, but I know football is the big driver. And 1 patch on equipment. An additional logo patch will be permitted during conference championships. So I wanted to kind of put this out there because there was like a lot of fun comments, and shout out to our friends at We're All Access that kind of imposed some logos on there for Hawaii jerseys. They got Zippies on there. You got L&L Barbecue. I kind of put it on my social media, like, what would you guys say? And I said fun answers only on what you guys would put. I wonder if it's our texter that had texted in about this, but they were like, get nuts. So put the Get Nuts logo on there. Of course, Kyle Galdera had to do his usual, like, Chico's bail bonds that he always likes to say. So there's like some fun ones, as always, where text in if you guys got any fun ones. And there was a bunch that, like, I even saw on social media, like Hawaiian Electric, which, you know what? That's Hawaiian Electric actually, to me, would be a good one, both like practical because they maybe could afford it. I don't know, but it would seem cool, right? Like, yeah, we're Hawaiian Electric.
Right. It makes sense in my mind where powered by whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a simple thing. You'd want it, especially with how electric the team has been the past year, and it only seems like they're on the upswing. So that does seem like a good one. No, there are a bunch of pretty fun ideas. We always say this, though. We always find it out, figure it out, get reminded of it, where every time we open up to the public to just be a little creative, you guys are funny. You guys are funny.
So funny.
And you guys are creative and very, very smart. So, yeah.
Let's see. Some of the ones that were on the Instagram post, there's a lot of people saying Zippies. We know you got advertising dollars, too, so put it on the jerseys and support the home team. Let's see. But someone put Zippies if the boys get free food. Someone said, or this is CFB home, that said Dukes, and if the team wins, free hula pie. There are some other stuff that I probably cannot say on here, but you guys will get it. You can go look on here. Let's see. There's Heineken. I don't know if there will be rules against alcohol, because
probably it feels like there will be.
For the few rules that there are in college sports, one of them, like, they kind of limit certain advertising for alcohol. Let's see. You have people just mentioning other, like, the smaller businesses. Leonard's Pastries. That's a good one. Someone say, you guys, so naughty, some of these comments. Toyota.
Yoda.
Oh, lifted Yoda's there. Highway Inn would be nuts. That would be fun. Highway Inn.
Nuts.
Let's see. Mai Tais. Meta. We need that Mark Zuckerberg money.
If they want to toss a couple of dollars in, we definitely wouldn't say no.
Let's go, Uncle Zuckerberg. Like, let's go with the Meta patches on the jersey and then put it on the stadium, too, to make sure that gets done. Okay, there, I found the commenter that said Hawaiian Electric, and that's the one I was like, you know what? That would kind of make a little bit of sense.
Our texter. Did you see our texter
no,
just
not
now?
Yet.
Our texter is right on with us. First off, thank you for being so in tune with the entire first hour. Same
Yes.
guy, or gal, same person. Okay, we need Meta and TikTok. Two rich Howleys who own choke land in Hawaii need Zuckerberg and Ellison to contribute to the cause. Amen. Amen.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
It's a great thought.
Got Moanis in here, a lot of Hawaii's finest clothing, all of that. Oh, wow, way up against the clock. Sorry, I was just having too
We're
much
having
fun
fun.
looking at your
Sorry.
comments. Go to our Instagram page. Again, shout out to Warrior All Access that also posted the image with the imposed L&L and the Zippy stuff. So you can go check out our Instagrams and continue to comment if you want to give your suggestions or look at all the other comments that I am not allowed to say on air as well. So we'll be right back for hour number 2 on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
No, you should have played hour 2. This doesn't get the same vibe.
Oh, do you want hour 2 now?
Yes,
Here,
you
we'll,
have to.
We'll
It
go,
just doesn't do the same justice.
And then we'll go.
It's supposed to be the re-hype music.
And we go Allen
Back to
again.
more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the 10, hour number 2. I'm Ku'ulei Agbayani, alongside Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and we're streaming live on our YouTube channel. I love how the guy that always talks about, like, I don't like change.
I don't like
Why
change.
don't you change up the hour number 2 music?
Well, listen,
Jesus.
I'm trying to make sure that we hit our quota on all the music.
This isn't a sponsored music. We don't have to make sure we play the hour number 1 music. That just already threw me off.
God.
I'm like, I can't. No.
But it's way more
like,
fun that way.
Yeah, it's like the hour 2 music. It just hits differently to get us rehyped at the midway
Well,
at the halftime.
you know what
We're
didn't
coming
get me
out
hyped?
at halftime. That's why.
You know what didn't get me hyped? The Patriots making the Super Bowl.
But Sam Darnold made the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but then it evens out, so then there's no hype in general. It was negative, 1 positive, so we're back at ground zero, you know?
No, but like I said, the 2 UH basketball teams won too. So.
Yeah, but that's different. That's basketball. And the Knicks, I don't know, they've been pissing me off lately. We'll talk about them some other time.
Again, we go back to you're going to make a move as the head coaching position.
You better get it right, man.
Better be prepared for that all to happen. Which, speaking of, in that coaching news, and Chaz Ontai had mentioned it as well, where the Steelers, man, to all of the Steelers fans, because I know there's a lot of you here in Hawaii, I am sorry that your franchise did what they did over the weekend. And they basically let go of Mike Tomlin, the guy who did not have a franchise quarterback, a true franchise quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger, and had a bunch of divas that he had to work through, and yet was still able to come out with a pretty decent record, always had winning seasons. And then the Steelers just thought, hey, let's fire that guy and let's hire another guy that has a similar record in his head coaching tenure and had a franchise quarterback for a very, very long time and only won 1 Super Bowl. Mike McCarthy, former Packers head coach, former Cowboys head coach for a little bit. I mean, it just made me think of you, Paul, because when we would talk about coaching changes, just like how our NFL teams had to go through last season, and then even when we go back to thinking about like the athletics director position here at UH, right? It's all right, if you're going to make this significant of a move, like you better bring in someone that's inspiring, that rallies up your fan base and is like, all right, like we're good. Like we'll see what happens, right? Like when I think back to like when we look at AD Matt Elliott now, and that was one that he was, when we've heard his name get in the mix, even though he barely had a digital footprint, we were like, you know what, this guy seems like he's my favorite. Like I hope
From what we could find.
from what the chaos of the end of 2024 is like, all right, if you're going to do this, you got to bring in some. And so far, it's worked out great. And what he ended up lucking out that, oh, wow, we actually made a good move and it worked out for the better for everybody. That's not going to happen every single time, but at least the bare minimum is hire someone that inspires your fan base. And for the Pittsburgh Steelers to go from Mike Tomlin, a franchise that does not change head coaches very often, you bring in Mike McCarthy. I was just like I said, I felt bad because I know so many Steelers fans, and I know that's one of the top teams here in Hawaii. That, man, if I were a Steelers fan, I would be livid. I saw on social media other people were feeling the same way, because that is just the most uninspiring hire to bring in after getting rid of Mike Tomlin, who wasn't awful. But if you're going to make this move, bring in someone inspiring, and that just, that daggers to the heart.
I just found it weird. Because, so I don't think that McCarthy is a bad coach. I'm going to start there. Like, I'd look at this as, at best, a lateral hire.
Yes.
If not one where it's probably a half step down, major, like full step down at this point. Because I think McCarthy is a good offensive mind. He always seems to get production out of any like normal feasible quarterback. So like that's fine, but it's also very different from what the Steelers have done for the entirety of their head coaching hiring. I mean, they've had 3 head coaches in the last 60 years, and part of what they've been doing is they go and they hire some young hotshot 35-year-old who is an up-and-comer and inspires your fan base, makes you kind of feel like, oh, okay, we're going to be back on the cutting edge of things. And this feels a little bit more like it's weird to be like we're trying to compete now, but it's like, is this like an Art Rooney looking at it like I'm getting older, I want a coach who's going to keep us in contention, like around, like going to keep us in the playoff picture, and we might not have to go through a year of growing pains. Like that's my confusion, is it felt like they settled.
Yeah.
Listen, McCarthy's from Pittsburgh. He's got a resume, like you mentioned, that's similar enough to Tomlin, where if you're ownership, you can kind of be like, well, we didn't really want to get rid of Tomlin in the first place. Like, he's the one that stepped down. The fans were the one that were upset with him, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like, this can be a continuation. This is me trying to positive Paul it up because, yeah, I mean, it's just not that inspiring of a hire when you look at everything else. Like, I don't know. If I'm Steelers fan, I'd probably have rathered Kevin Stefanski over him.
Oh, 100%.
You know? And it's like, I watched Stefanski make chicken soup out of chicken you-know-what in Cleveland. Why can't he do that in Pittsburgh, which we feel like we're a trillion times better of an organization? I don't know. It was a strange hire, not from the fact that it happened, but from the moment that it happened. Because if you told me 2 weeks from now they missed out on Nate Shilhassy or whatever his name is from the Rams, and Grant Udinsky's going back to the Jags, and like, if you told me though the young guys are like, we're good on this year. If you told me in 2 weeks they're like, you know what, Mike, let's go, let's get a move on our offseason, then I'd probably believe it. This really did feel like they settled.
And that's the thing.
To me.
You're the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, I feel like that's a iconic franchise that some of the young coaches wouldn't mind going to. And good reminder there by you that, technically Mike Tomlin was not fired, but he felt like he wasn't wanted anymore, right? So he kind of made that decision to step away. But I'm sure if ownership and whatnot was like, hey, no, like came out and been like, he's our guy, we're going with Mike Tomlin, like, I don't think Mike Tomlin would have taken this step back if he felt like ownership had his back, right? Like, and clearly he didn't feel that way, and hence why he's taking this time off. But yeah, Nico to get Mike McCarthy, and that's a fair assessment that maybe he is potentially a stopgap in this year.
That's like my best case scenario kind of in my head.
And maybe the little bit of positive, Paul, that some Steelers fans can have, that like, hey, maybe it is in that situation that he is kind of there. But yeah, I just think it was very interesting to see that come through. And like I said, I felt kind of bad for Steelers fans because, yeah, if you're losing that head coach, then you're like, inspire me and something to happen. And
well, yeah, that's why you wanted Tomlin
gone.
Right. It's like you wanted new blood because you wanted to feel more modern. This does not feel more modern. This feels like you're still stuck in the 2010s, which, once again, it's like fine if you want to be competitive, but the league has moved towards the Shanahan model. Yeah. The league has moved towards you need somebody from the Shanahan tree as your offensive coordinator, or you need someone like Mike Macdonald who is just a defensive genius. Maybe that's what the Steelers looked at. They looked at the Super Bowl this year and they said, you know, both head coaches are named Mike. We have to hire another Mike. Otherwise, it won't work out. They went from Mike Tomlin to Mike McCarthy. They see Mike Vrabel and Mike Macdonald in the Super Bowl. That is what it must be.
They should have just brought back Bill Cowher at that point.
Well, Bill Belichick, you know.
Well, I mean, like, Mike McCarthy, I think, is only like a few years younger than Bill Cowher, so you might as well just
McCarthy
bring him back.
is, what, 60-something? Well, so I guess this is a different conversation. No, I don't want to say that because then it makes me come off as a Giants hater. But like there is the conversation of like, why is John Harbaugh this universally praised hire for the Giants and Mike McCarthy this like kind of poo-pooed hire for the Steelers because they do have pretty similar track records when you look at their overall resumes as head coaches. They both have had some pretty good quarterbacks that they didn't get over the hump with enough, fans would say. Like, why is it all that different from one to the other? And if fans wanted to say that, then I guess I'd hear that out. That said, I don't know. Harbaugh, I believe in him a little bit more.
Yeah.
The infrastructure, I don't know why.
Well, it would be the same way as because Tomlin and Mike McCarthy do have similar resumes as well, like collectively in their head coaching tenures. And if another franchise, it's not going to happen this coming season, obviously, but if another franchise hired a Mike Tomlin, we'd feel the same way like how the Giants and Harbaugh, right? I would feel like, wow, that's a great hire for this franchise wherever he ended up. Just like when we looked at Mike Vrabel when he ended up at the Patriots, there was a reason why you were all bent out of shape. Like, oh no, they got like this.
I can't believe
coach.
I got to do this again.
And
I was right. Anyway, sorry.
You're not
I
going through it.
I couldn't help it.
Paul is not. He is not at all.
I was right about both of them. The quarterback and the coach.
You were.
Both. And it's the Jets' fault for both of them, too. Unbelievable. Anyway. Sorry. Yeah, Mike McCarthy and Mike Tomlin and all them.
On that note, though, with the Patriots now in the Super Bowl, and we get another rematch with the Seahawks. Again, a very entertaining game between the Seahawks and Rams. Not very entertaining for Michael Iscaro. So as I texted in our group chat, I was like, because he's like, pain. And I'm like, come have a seat right next to us, Michael.
I was going to say, welcome to the crew, guys. I've been here since week 4.
I've only been here recently, but I feel the same pain. Come on. With the pain that I felt my team losing to your team. So there you go. In a very close fashion as well. 31-27. The Seahawks over the Rams. Another close one. And, the Seahawks got the best out of 3 and won, especially when it mattered. But both quarterbacks looked great. Like, it was just... It was a really fun game and very contrast of what we saw in the earlier snow game. So it was. I thought it was, like I said, entertaining on all facets, just because you got two different looking games. Even though you have to watch the Patriots win again, but no, it was a fun game with the Seahawks and Rams for sure. But yeah, if you're a Rams fan, then it is always going to be pain, especially. So speaking of coaching. Because I saw this starting to float around, and I started to think about it after the Bears-Rams game, because even Sean McVay himself admitted to not making very good coaching decisions, and some of the coaching decisions in this game, even Michael had said, were a little questionable. I did ask Michael if he thought that Sean McVay should have gone for it or should have kicked the field goal and instead of going for the touchdown, in which they turned it over on downs, like in the red zone. And Michael said, like, oh, no, like that. I felt like you go for points. That's because then down the stretch, you're like, oh, you could have won it with a field goal if you had made. Again, hindsight is 20/20, but like there was some interesting, I guess, clock management stuff. Even Sean McVay in post game was saying. So I don't know. It was kind of interesting to see, because a lot of the times head coaching, your job is clock management and game management, and I think this is a question that I need to ask Michael, is like how he feels about how Sean McVay's been managing some of these games, and part of me also gets worried as because Ben Johnson can tend to manage games very erratically, but they come out and win, so that's most of the time.
Kill somebody for Sean McVay to be the Jets head coach. I would legitimately commit a crime. I can't. So if he doesn't want him, just tell him, send him over to New York, and I will be more than happy to take him as a head coach. No, it absolutely is something that you should ask him or Rams fans. By the way, this does go back to our texture in hour number 1, and we talked about it off air, so I did want to give credit to it before, where we were talking about not getting that people saying winter weather is football weather, and the enjoyability of games in the snow versus not in the snow. And I do think that, like, objectively speaking, this was a more enjoyable game to watch. So just going back to that point before, it does make it a little bit more where you're like, yeah, this was a little bit more fun, but nonetheless, both games incredibly competitive. I am also of the ilk where I would have gone for it on 4th down and not kicked the field goal, but that's something that I've been very consistent about. You can go back in our text messages and see that from weeks ago. It's a heartbreaking end to a season for the Rams that I really thought was probably going to end in a Super Bowl for most of the year. Like they just have been a really, really good team, and ultimately they fall just a little bit short against the Seahawks squad that is playing out of their mind right now. And Sam Darnold, by the way, for all the flack that he's gotten through the past couple of seasons, especially the end of his Vikings career or tenure was a lot of like, can he win you the big game? Because obviously the last couple of starts for him were not excellent, or even good, if we really want to be honest. I thought he was one of the biggest reasons that the Seahawks won this game. I thought he played out of his mind against a quality Rams defense. He was every bit of the quarterback that the Seahawks needed in this game, and he now gets to play in a Super Bowl with them. The Seahawks are, if they get that version of Sam Darnold, I don't see a way that they lose the Super Bowl. If they don't, we'll talk about that more, but then it's a much different conversation.
Yeah, and like we were saying in hour number one, and I feel like we're in agreement, and you and I have kind of been saying this since the playoffs were set, like all the teams were in, and we looked at the bracket early on, and we're like, no matter what, the team that comes out in the NFC is going to win, because the AFC this year, like, just look at the teams that were there. And even when you look at someone like the Bills and Josh Allen, he didn't have a lot of weapons that he had in the past. So you're just like,
you have
it
to
just
talk
seems like the
yourself
weaker
into
side.
All of the AFC teams.
Yeah, like the
I
NFC
did not have
side
to do that
was
to
like,
the NFC.
Man, this is going to be like a battle to whoever comes out on top. And whoever does, barring any injuries, we felt confident in saying that team is going to be the Super Bowl champion. I still feel that way now more than ever, because as we were saying in hour number one, the Patriots, they didn't have the toughest road to the Super Bowl. They still won their games, which is what you need to do, and credit to them that they got here. But when you look at both sides, with the Seahawks are more battle-tested and the type of obstacles they have to overcome in terms of opponents.
Most complete team they'll play.
And
Period.
they're just like, yeah, the entire schedule. So, I mean, there's no surprise that the Seahawks are all the way up until to a 4.5-point favorite. I think it opened at 5 at BetMGM, which clearly a lot of money went in on the Patriots, because if you're getting the Patriots +5, you're like, yeah.
Feel
like,
pretty good about it.
Keep throwing in there. So 4.5 right now, a total set at 46. The Patriots at +195 on the money line. Seahawks at -235. And yet I still feel like the Seahawks are going to win by at least a touchdown. This team is just so... and like you said, Sam Darnold can continue to play and how he's been playing.
If this is the Sam they're getting, I just don't see. Because their Seahawks. Jeez, I'm Paul. Their special teams have been so good, too. You sit here and you think about Rashid Shaheed and what he's been able to bring to them since the trade deadline. All he needs to do is punch one through, and then all of a sudden your defense feels good enough to win you the game. And if Darnold doesn't turn the ball over, you're winning it by multiple scores. That said, it's not going to be as easy as that, because the Patriots will be ready. They are an extremely well-coached team. Drake May has had an MVP caliber season. We'll give our predictions later. But nonetheless, it's my son versus my most hated team, so take it as you will.
Like, go Seahawks is what he's trying to say. So all the Seahawks fans here in Hawaii, like, clearly, but yeah, I just think they're just overall, both teams have really, really good defenses. Shout out Jelani Tavai on the defense for the Patriots.
Maybe that's the
Rainbow
difference.
Warrior. I think he is. So gets to go to a Super Bowl, which is really, really awesome for him. I also saw it's like, who are the backups again? Like, I think it's Tommy DeVito maybe is like the backup or a quarterback on New England. And then
it's Drew Lock in Seattle, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Because I saw a funny tweet somebody put out there, like, everybody threw him away, said he was said he couldn't do it, blah, blah, blah. And now look at him going to play in a Super Bowl. Congrats, Drew Lock. And because I'm reading the whole tweet thinking it's about Sam Darnold. And then I got to the bottom, and that was the punchline. I was like, all right, fine. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Question for you. Is Luke Felix Fualalo still with the Seahawks? Because he was with their practice squad, like, early on.
Good question.
Because if he is, then we got UH ties on both sides then. That's pretty dope.
We'll have to look that up. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Tommy DeVito is on New England. He's third on the depth chart. Josh Dobbs is currently listed as the backup to Drake May for the New England Patriots. So Tommy DeVito, good thing the Giants, like, He's like, thanks, Giants, for letting me go to the Patriots.
Well, that's the same thing with Leonard Taylor, the defensive tackle for the Patriots.
Oh, man.
The Jets cut him at 0-6, and then he signed with the Patriots. Bet you he feels real good about where his life is right now. By the way, Luke Felix Fualalo, per his Wikipedia, signed to the practice squad of the Philadelphia Eagles back in August after getting waived in the final round of roster cuts. So, no.
Interesting. All right, last thing to close out this Super Bowl conversation, at least for today anyways. I wanted to bring this up because someone tweeted about it and put it up for our YouTube viewers, especially, that calling for the throwbacks in the Super Bowl. It's like the NFL should force both franchises to wear these uniforms in the Super Bowl matchup, which is the throwback uniforms. I personally love that Seattle jersey with like the really like almost like cerulean blue and the silver pants and the silver helmet.
With the description.
Yeah. Because it's like, it's not blue. It's like that really pretty cerulean blue. And then the Patriots with like their, I don't know.
The red. And the... So funny enough, I actually like those Patriots uniforms most out of all the ones. So that's why
I'm like, you know what? Having both those teams wear those throwback uniforms would be, uniforms would be actually pretty sweet.
It'd be sweet.
I'm here for it.
It'd never happen.
No, it won't happen.
But it would be really awesome.
Because, like I said, that's what... Oh, another question for you. As a New York fan, I don't know if you saw this. He already knows where I'm going. He already knows. I didn't get a chance to post a picture of it, but he already knows where I'm going with this, because clearly New York, with the name New York, has not one but two NFL teams. And via the official social media account for the Empire State Building. And yes, the Patriots, obviously their colors are red, white, and blue. So America. But it was the fact that they posted on their official social media handles that basically they lit it up red, white, and blue because of the Patriots going to the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I have to ask you, Paul, as a actual fan of a New York team and who is from New York, how are we feeling about the Empire State Building in all her glory, and the social media account manager who thought it would be a good idea to say, congratulations, Patriots?
That was the most frustrating thing of the weekend by far. It wasn't even like close. I didn't even really care about the Patriots winning until that. Yeah. Because are you kidding me? No Boston building would. First off, Boston doesn't have a building famous enough for that. So, second, no Boston building would ever do something like that for a New York team. Are we kidding? Was that professional rage bait? Did we put a Boston person in charge of the account? It was so absurd. Every single New York person that I've talked to, people who aren't even Jets and Giants fans, are like, what are we doing? In little less radio-friendly terms, I'll say. What? No, it was, I had to refrain from texting you guys about it because I didn't think you guys would care. I was up in arms. I couldn't believe it. It'd be like lighting the red for the Boston Red Sox. No, yeah. Would never happen. Would never, ever, ever happen. What the hell is wrong with you? Oh, I was pissed. Could not have been actually angrier. And it's the dumbest thing to be angry about in the world, by the way. Oh, I was livid. I'm still livid, clearly.
But I don't blame you. And that's why I had to ask, because I was like flabbergasted.
I couldn't believe it.
I'm not even a
New
York native, but as a sports fan.
I thought it was fake.
Like, it's different if New York didn't have a football team, but they got two that don the New York name.
It's not different. No, we do not. Boston and New York are not friends. We are not. No. You know, like, we're not friends. Not in any type of athletics. We're not rooting for the Bruins. We're not rooting for. No. Oh my God, it was.
It's like the biggest rivalry too. Like,
oh God,
New York and Boston. So for those that maybe aren't familiar, yes, technically, even though they're the New England Patriots historically, as you can see, they are a Boston team.
Yeah, they're in the greater Boston area.
So
blah, blah, blah.
That's why it's like, but in sports, New York and Boston are just.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
I'm glad I asked you about that, and I didn't mean to get your blood pressure up, but I was genuinely curious.
I was so mad.
Because, like I said, I was shocked, and I'm not even from there, but I'm like, that doesn't seem like that's a cool thing to do.
It felt like legitimate rage bait. I was like, are they trying to just get engagement? Like, they're just trying to get people angry and yelling at them on social media. It was an absurd post. Congratulations, the Patriots, the New England Patriots. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, because they tagged the Patriots and everything. It was a whole thing. Read
Oh!
the room. What?
Caesar's in here.
Oh, it's been a while.
It has been a while,
Yeah.
and the reason is great reasoning. So shout out to Caesar. Congratulations to you.
Yay! Just got married and finished his honeymoon
Welcome
last
to the married
Saturday. Congratulations,
Could
Caesar,
not be happier
and to
for
the
you.
missus.
Yes.
I think the missus as well. We were just kind of mentioned hockey there with the Bruins, but I believe his now wife, I think he had told us, is a hockey fan.
My wife.
I think Winnipeg or something they were talking about before.
I think so, yeah.
Winnipeg Jets. So shout out Caesar. Congratulations and welcome to the live chat. But on that note, this is perfect timing for us to take a break and for Paul to cool off. We'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to all of you, the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ule Agbayani, Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel. Thank you for hanging out with us, and that's why you are the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. Another reason why you guys that interact with us are the beautifulest is because you make us laugh when we get a chance to catch up on some of the text messages that we didn't see live in their previous segment.
Unky, you're funny, man.
Yeah. Our friend in Boise is hilarious, sending us pictures of, because in hour number one, we're talking about the jersey patches now being, it got approved for NCAA Division I, and we're talking about the comments that were in on the social media posts of people suggesting different jersey patches again, and then our regular listener had sent us some photos of what would be, and defend Hawaii, get nuts were some of the other suggestions earlier that we saw, but the best photo that they sent was with the sent us a couple of photos, and this is they used the
media day
with Pafele Ashlock and Jemai Otis in front of the cow, but those white Hawaii jerseys. And the second photo, like, Paul and I just busted out laughing because it's Senator Favela, who everybody loves when it comes to talking about UH sports. And I'm assuming, I can't really make out who the woman is on the quote-unquote patch, but I'm assuming it's Donna Mercado Kim to go along with Kurt Favela, and, like, that totally gagged us in the break when I saw with that photo. So thank you for that laugh midway through because it was hilarious. But Kurt Favela doesn't believe in giving any money to sport, so
exactly, which is why it makes it even better.
You need to give money in order to get the patch there, but maybe he'll change his mind.
Well, his name, image, and likeness is worth so much, so we'll put him on. Dude,
thank you for that text, though. It was hilarious. Let's see, somebody else texting in. Not sure if it was talked about yet, but the Pro Bowl games was already a joke, in my opinion. Yes, now it's even more of a joke. Shedeur Sanders is going to be an alternate. Might as well have Ben DiNucci as an alternate too. Going back to our friend in Boise, Lee Cataluna was
even
the other
funnier,
one. That's so
honestly.
funny. Good job by you though. But going to the Pro Bowl games, let's be honest, it hasn't been the same since it left Hawaii. So it's just
realistically, the Pro Bowl sucks, or the Pro Bowl weekend, Pro Bowl games, Pro Bowl whatever. I have not taken it in half a decade. Ish. Like I get the general highlights. I see the clips on social media. It is not interesting to me. There's no reason to watch it. And I get that it's nice to have recognition for like nice seasons and whatever outside of all pros. But if this is what it's come to, and I'm not even like a Shedeur Sanders hater, so I don't want it to come off as like Shedeur is the final straw for me, because it's not. I honestly had the final straw a couple of years ago, but it's like we've seen this now where Mac Jones a few years ago was like, he was okay. I don't know if I'd say he was a Pro Bowl guy. Tyler Huntley, similar thing. Snoop Huntley, like that's a Pro Bowl quarterback for essentially filling in for Lamar. I don't even think he had that great of a season. Shedeur started, 5 games, 6 games, something like that? Maybe? Yeah. I don't know. And was fine in like 2 of them. Not great in like 4 of them. I don't know. It very much so has watered down what it means to be a Pro Bowler, which feels bad because you should be able to like if you're a Shedeur Sanders, you should be able to celebrate something like this. Oh, it's like my first Pro Bowl. Feels like I don't know, damn, here, take this type of award thing, and I don't know. It is not the same. I wish, and it makes me sad because I do wish that there was some way to save it, and I understand the issues with the Pro Bowl because you're not going to want to play a meaningless game that puts people in harm's way and all of these different things, but what it has become is so far from what it used to be in terms of meaning and value.
Yeah. That's because, at the end of the day, the players don't even want to go because it's at cities that they already travel to, right? Like, that's why Hawaii, the Pro Bowl games, if that iteration came to Hawaii, I think you would get a little bit more interest from some of these players.
At least
because
a little.
They can get essentially a free vacation to come out here with their family. That they get to see a new set of fans, maybe do some like volunteer work like they used to do when they came out here before, right? Like, there's a little different of a environment than going to the same cities that you've already been to multiple times.
Yeah.
And like your family doesn't want to go. The season's over. So why are you going to spend time going to these cities to bring your family when your season's over and you can just go on a regular vacation somewhere else? Where like if you come to Hawaii, it's like the wives and the kids are like, hey, we're going to go to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl games. And I think probably 90% of the wives are like, yeah,
the wives,
go.
I gotta imagine, are pumped.
Right?
Half the kids are bouncing off the walls. And the cool thing about Hawaii maybe this obviously comes off as biased. I don't care. Cool thing about Hawaii is that they don't have to just stay on Oahu.
Yeah.
You're able to island hop, and it's like if you want to stay here and you're already out here for a certain amount of time and you want to take the kids over to Maui, or you want to go check out Molokai, or you all of these different places, like it legitimately, to your point, it feels more like a vacation rather than going to, where is it, like Orlando or something like that. And this is not me poo-pooing Orlando. I like Orlando. It's a nice place.
Because it's essentially a free vacation, because what is it, like $50,000 or something per player to come out here? Like, that will get you a nice stay and like you don't, if you choose to not stay where the NFL puts you up, like you can spend that money to like you said go to, because they have like really high end hotels like on Kauai where you can take your family there and
Big
stay
Island,
at the Four Seasons. It's super fancy. So hopefully one day our lawmakers and the NFL can work out something where we can bring it back here, because
just seems smart for both sides.
Seems like the players want to come out here. All right, let's see. Getting to another text message. Coach Bud has signed 2 local girls transfers: Aloha Ramos from Kamehameha via South Dakota State, and Mia Hashimoto from Punahou via Gonzaga. Also asking if I went to the softball. Matt Elliott took some swings. Yeah, I saw Matt's. I saw the post on social media, which I thought was pretty cool. I did not go to the Pa'ina. I was kind of bummed, but at the same time, as we were talking about the pain and feeling alive, the Bears were playing that day, so I did not go to the Pa'ina because that was when the Bears were playing the Rams in a very, very stressful divisional game. So that went to overtime. So yeah, I did not have to make it out, but that is my reasoning, and I hope you can understand that. If it wasn't, and I told Kara this, the SID for softball, I'm like, I really wanted to come out, but the Bears were playing in the playoffs, so I'm sorry. But I will make it out to actual games for softball. And that reminds me to remind you guys that I did get a chance to catch up with new head coach Panita Thanatharn, so you'll hear my extensive interview with her coming up this week, which was really good. Got to kind of reset and help you guys get to know her a little bit as they prepare for the season. And a few softball players that I'm excited for you guys to hear about as well as we start to ramp that up. And you guys, and it's cool because I know we've had a couple of texters that were really big on softball and texting it about softball. So we're rolling into some softball season stuff and going to start to ramp up our usual Mana Wahine Wednesday featured series. So this Wednesday we will have Coach Thanatharn, and maybe we'll do a double whammy. But since we're bringing it back, we'll do 2. So we'll do Coach Thanatharn in hour number 1, and then in hour number 2, you can hear my chat with the Milan Ayat. So we'll just take that. Got that for you guys. And then later on that evening, we'll have doubleheader action of the OIA Girls Basketball Championships in Division 1 and Division 2, presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union. Semifinals are happening tonight. So we've got a packed week, as always, here. And with women's basketball, there may be a chance, you guys, if you remember a couple of seasons ago for women's basketball, there was this hostess with the mostest that would wear these very sequin blazers.
Yeah, whatever happened to her?
At women's basketball games. So, word on the street is that she is potentially making an appearance for Beeman's Big Bash this Saturday. So, it's going to be a party, is what I've been told.
That's clearly. So, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see it.
We might get the sequins back on Saturday, so I just got to double confirm. But, yeah, we might start to see that happen. So, there we go.
It'd be pretty exciting. We love women's sports here, so anytime that we get a chance to go out and support.
Put on the jacket.
A couple of quick things, by the way, about those 2 transfers that texted on in. One of them, a senior, that one being Aloha Ramos. She has dealt with a couple of injuries throughout her college career, but a defender from Kamehameha. Exciting to add another piece there. Similar vibe on the other side with Mia Hashimoto, where she is also a defender. She's got a couple of extra. She's just a redshirt freshman, or she just finished her redshirt freshman year, so coming in with at least 3 years of eligibility. So a couple of experience and lottery ticket youthful player who is coming home. So love to add both of those. And also, Coach Bud has a pretty good eye for talent, so I'm always feeling pretty good on any local players who she brings back home.
And you know what? Shout out to the ladies of this past team, because not only talented in terms of soccer abilities, but talented in the classroom. So this is awesome. Ultimate student athlete things. And Coach Bud mentioned 5 road trips, 25,000 plus miles flown, 19 days of missed class, but yet they have 15 academic all Big West honorees from the soccer program. So taking care of business. So shout out to all of those student athletes on the Rainbow Wahine soccer team, because 15, woo, that's almost the entire team, more than half of the team, all academic honors. Shout out to you guys. You're better than me, of course.
You tip the cap.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you tip the cap. It's no, I mean, it is always impressive the amount of student athlete the high grades that these student athletes put on up, and it's not just the women's soccer team. You see it across all programs. I don't know. It makes me feel better that we have great people running these programs and great people in these programs.
Woo-hoo. All right, we do need to take a break. When we come back, we'll close out the show talking some University of Hawaii men's basketball and let you hear what Big Fish had to say following Saturday's win over CSUN. We'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Right, only have not too much time left, so I want to make sure we chat a little bit about the UH men's basketball game. Hawaii coming out with the 89-68 win over CSUN. I was like, no, that's not right. Opposite. 89-68 win over CSUN in a very high level, high tempo game. We've been saying how CSUN is just always physical, always a very athletic team. And this season was no different, right? Even the game was relatively close and back and forth the entire time, and Hawaii able to pull away to give that final 89-68 game. But it was a fun one. And like I said, back and forth, despite, again, it was did we have the same refs from the women's game? Because it was just getting annoying. But fortunately, Hawaii still comes out on top over the Matadors. So overall, again, continuing their winning ways for the men as to be expected, even if they just have 10 active players on the roster. And then we found out on Saturday that they technically only had 9 for a little bit because Hunter Carter apparently just got cleared a couple of days
on Thursday
before as well. So, guys, listen, we need as much depth as we can. Clearly to because they're going to go to the Big West Conference Championship and then win it and then play in the NCAA tournament. So you need to be able to sustain all of that. But nonetheless, great performance there by the Rainbow Warriors once again after a massive win over Bakersfield on Thursday, and then to get that 2 wins at home to remain up there at the top of the Big West Conference. Good overall, like I said, performance. It was a little back and forth in the beginning and a little dragged on because there was a lot of whistle happiness, but all in all, good performance.
Good performance, exciting to see, needed win, and sets up a nationally televised bout for first place against UC Irvine next week. They were talking about how being the tougher team in this game was the most important thing for them to win. It's going to be the same exact thing for the UC Irvine game next week, and especially with just 10 guys, it will be incredibly important for all of them to remain healthy.
All right. Well, leading the Rainbow Warriors on Saturday, Isaac Big Fish Johnson with 18 points, followed by Gitas Namiksha contributing 16 points off the bench. So this is what Big Fish. I had to do it for the YouTube. Those listening are like, what is that clapping sound?
What's going on?
This is what Big Fish had to say in the post game, and it just starts off with Spectrum Sports' Brian McInnes.
Ryan, why don't you start us?
Big Fish, can you tell us about that run to start the second half that seemed to carry you guys the rest of the night?
Yeah, just the confidence we came out with in halftime. It was just kind of a mindset that we talked about in the locker room. It was going to be a toughness battle. This whole the game was going to be won by whoever was the tougher team. So we came out with that confidence, that edge, I think, at halftime, and it carried us on for the rest of the game. And we kind of were able to make a big footprint to set us up for the rest of the half. So.
Did that shot to go into the half where Hunter found you behind the no look behind the head? Is that something you guys have practiced? Or,
Oh, he's a stud. He just does that. So I have every bit of confidence in him. Like when he gets down there, shooters just got to be ready. So feet set. We've done that before in practice, and just got to rep out what we've done in the past. So.
This is an offensive slog to start this one. 1 for 12 from 3 for you guys, and then all of a sudden things just flipped. 7 threes in a row. It started off in that first half. What was the flip there in that first half that allowed you guys? You shot 64% after halftime.
I think it was just the toughness battle. The edge that we had to set us up for that successful run was that we won the toughness battle, and when you do that, it creates confidence for the rest of the game. You see a shot go in, you see a couple shots go in. On top of winning the toughness, it's green light from there. So.
Yeah, how much when you do the Big Fish in front of the crowd? When did it start, by the way? Like, when did you start doing that? And what's the feeling you get every time you do it? Just curious.
I started at Utah State during the starting lineups. And so the student section there, they embraced it, loved it, and it became a whole thing. And so figured if we could get the crowd in on it here, it's just something that gets people moving, just gets some noise going, and it just hypes everybody up. So it gets me hyped to see other people doing it. And it's usually only at a hype moment when I do it, so it makes everything crazy.
It looks like there's a specific section of the lower bowl that is doing it a lot, and you're like looking to them, am I mistaking that?
Yeah, kind of. Like Mike Kauza and his area, he's a stud, he's hype. So just look around over there, and my wife, she sits over there too. So sorry, my wife and Mike Kauza. So, but it's just like that area seems to be the loudest, and so when we can get the rest of the arena to join in with it, it's pretty electric.
You guys have equaled your win total from last year in conference and overall. I'm just wondering what the kind of the day-to-day feeling is like being part of this team, tied for first right now with obviously a lot of ways to go, but where you guys feel like you are toward your goals.
We paid rent tonight, and we got some money to make tomorrow. So that's about it. We just take it step at a time, day at a time. Rent is paid tonight.
Okay.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer.
Big Fish Isaac Johnson with the rent was paid tonight.
Gotta make money tomorrow. Amen. I might steal that one.
I know. I'm like, okay, we gotta go with that. That's pretty awesome. Yeah,
it's too good of a quote not to use.
And it's funny because it's like you weren't really like when I was watching it. I'm like, oh, I didn't even expect that type of answer, right? Like I'm like, okay.
Great answer. In general, Big Fish is always one of my favorite interviews, or one of my favorites to just get a chance to chat with because he's very, very open. He's very, very honest about how he feels about the game, and not in like a demonstrative way or not. He's just very matter-of-factly. He's a funny guy. Also, anybody I can appreciate. White Cow is well, my wife sits over there too. So my wife and my
like, you have to make sure. I was like, oh wait, yeah. Let's not forget.
He had to pay rent so that he doesn't have to make money the next day to his wife.
So again, Rainbow Warriors continuing their winning ways, but massive game going on the road this Thursday to play UC Irvine. And UC Irvine, they want to get back on what the loss they suffered here in Hawaii. And Irvine was able to come out on top over UC San Diego on Saturday in a close one. Yeah, 61-59 in the Anteaters' favor. So it's an even bigger matchup. Both teams 7-2 in the Big West Conference. So this will be a battle for the outright top spot in the Big West Conference, and it's going to be a fun one. So Thursday, can't wait for that, although I'm already stressed out just thinking about it.
Yeah.
This is interesting, though. It's still late tip-off there in Irvine because it's 6 o'clock p.m. Hawaii time.
Yeah, 11 o'clock Eastern. But it's
national,
nationally televised.
ESPNU, so I get it. They have to make sure they put it in that sweet spot. But and then Hawaii will play at Long Beach State on Saturday, which should be a win. So they better come back at the very least with a split. Clearly, you want to go out there and beat Irvine, but that's going to be a very difficult task. But it's not impossible. We see what this team can do, and they can definitely compete. Just stay healthy, you guys.
Stop getting hurt.
Stop hurting yourself. Still no timetable with Aaron Hunkin-Clater either, so we're just going to count him as not being of service this week for now.
Out indefinitely.
Until he's not.
Until he's back definitely. You know?
So we'll see what happens this week. All right, just a few more minutes left on the show. I have to make sure I point this out just before we end. I want to show you guys this awesome shirt that I am wearing on our YouTube channel.
Shirt.
And for those that are audio only, I will explain it. This is a new collab that is coming out soon. Make sure to tell you guys about this. It's a collab with Rainbow Authentics and Old Queen Street Stadium and High Life. And basically this shirt it says the Rust Palace. And it's also a picture of the Aloha Stadium. And then it basically says, it has like the year like 1975 to 2026 at the bottom. So it's basically, it's like paying homage to the Rust Palace that is Aloha Stadium because it's supposed to come down this year, allegedly. So,
allegedly.
So hopefully this shirt will not be outdated and the Rust Palace will come down this year so that it matches the dates on the shirt. The 2026 is when we see it come down. So, yes.
Does that make it collectible if it doesn't come down in 2026? Because they'll have to make new shirts.
We were all hoping it does. But, yes, it says 1975 to 2026 because the Rust Palace is supposed to come down. Like I said, allegedly this year is what we've been told where the tangible progress will start to be seen. I haven't driven out there recently, so I don't really know if there is. But allegedly. And we'll let you guys know. It should come out soon. But yes, we will let you know when it's available because it's a pretty cool shirt just to commemorate our beautiful Aloha Stadium that should be down soon. Again, hopefully down this year.
One can hope. Oh, gosh. It makes me sad when places are gone, but also it makes me happy that we're finally, hopefully, going to start to see progress on the new stadium. So it's like one of those happy, sad type of things.
Yeah.
Sorry, as soon as I did out.
Didn't even say the number.
I know. That's the thing. Before we get out of here, thank you very much, Caesar. I see you congratulating my wife and I on our pregnancy, so thank you very much. Congratulations to your marriage.
Congratulations all around. And happy birthday to Michael Guimon. That's the one staying with us from Massachusetts. It's his birthday today. But we got to go. For Paul Brecht, I'm Ku'ule Agbayani. Bye.
Home of the Dallas Cowboys, KGUA.